All of our productions at GCTV are sponsored in part by Bay State Health, providing the care you and your family need when you need it close to home. Visit them online at baystatehealth.org. Greenfield Savings Bank. Visit them at 400 Main Street in Greenfield. Call them at 774-3191 or go online to greenfieldsavings.com. Greenfield Community College, providing access and excellence in higher education in the Pioneer Valley. Visit them at gcc.mass.edu. The Hammond Family. The Hammond family are longtime supporters of Greenfield Community Television. New Fortune Chinese Restaurant on the Mohawk Trail in Greenfield. Visit them online at newfortunema.com. Call them at 772-0838 and check them out on Facebook. Real Cleaning Services, cleaning Hampshire and Franklin County since 1972. We don't cut corners, we clean them. Check them out online at realclean.com. Call them at 413-422-1143. People's United Bank, located at 45 Federal Street in Greenfield. You can call them at 774-3713 or visit them online at peoples.com. The Solar Store of Greenfield, replacing fossil fuels and nuclear power one home at a time. Visit them at 23 Fisk Ave. Call them at 413-772-3122 or visit them online at solarstoreofgreenfield.com. Thank you to our sponsors for supporting all of GCTV's productions.
Hi everyone, welcome. This is a meeting of the Greenfield Public Schools School Committee. It's Wednesday, March 14th at 6:30 p.m. We're at Greenfield High School Cafeteria at 21 Bar Avenue, right here in Greenfield. Could we have a roll call, please?
Committee Member Karen.
Here.
Committee Member Ekstrom.
Here.
Committee Member Hollins, I show as absent. Committee Member Ward, I'm showing as absent. Myself, I am present. Mayor Martin, absent. Committee Member Nunez,
Here.
we have quorum.
All right, thank you very much. As you can see, we do have quite a short agenda today, but we will also enter into executive session. I'll elaborate on a little more at my chairperson reports. Before we jump into public comments, can we have a motion to approve draft minutes for 2/14?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any conversation, any additions, edits? No? Okay. All those in favor of approval of draft minutes from February 14th, 2018, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye, that's unanimous. Thank you. Is there a motion to approve draft minutes from February 28th, 2018?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you. Any deliberation on that? Okay. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, thank you. So we will move right on to public comments. Are there any members of the public that are here to comment? Please come up. If you could just state your name and address for the record. And you have 3 minutes.
Thank you. Good evening. My name is Anna Marhefka, and I'm a 5th grade teacher at Greenfield Middle School. Would you like me to state my address if I'm not a Greenfield resident, or?
I think that's okay.
Okay,
Thank
thanks.
you.
My day today began with 19 incredible students who were smiling and excited to get into the classroom from the minute I picked them up in the cafeteria. After breakfast, one of our counselors came into our room and led a mindfulness activity around being grateful. I got to begin my day sitting in silence, being totally present with my students, thinking about the things that I am thankful for. As I sit here tonight, I wanted to share a few moments that I'm grateful for that happened during our day of action at GMS. And I want to be clear, this is about the day of action and not about the walkout. I get to see kindness in action every day with students at school, but today was different. Students were radiating kindness, interacting with kids who they don't normally interact with, seeking out opportunities they might have otherwise let pass by, thinking about ways they can enact change in our school and local community, taking action by writing letters, standing up for the things that they believe in, and creating art to convey a message of hope. I'm so proud to have the opportunity to work with these students, their families, and my colleagues every day. Thank you.
Thank you. Hey there. Oh, you might have to press the button.
Ooh, this is new.
There we go.
Good evening. My name is Kia Burton King, and this is Zoe Burton King. I am a parent of two, Zoe and Zaire over there. Zoe and Zaire both go to Newton School. I am also a GPS employee, Title I Family and Community Outreach Liaison, as well as I do lunch recess monitoring at GMS. I have the unique perspective of both worlds working here and then also having my children go here. I am here today to express my thankfulness for the planning and preparation for the kids' safety today that chose to participate in the walkout. Where safety obviously is a concern, I just admire the level of thought and planning that went into today. Where I know some parents may feel that it was a bit too controlled. I am a parent here tonight to say that it was enough control, that kids felt safe. I felt safe as an employee. I felt like I was helping continue with that spirit for kids to be safe, expressing their views, whether they stayed in the classroom or whether they went outside. And this is my perspective at GMS. I can't speak for other buildings, but I assume the same level of thought and preparation went into throughout the district. I am also here to say as a parent that today was a day of dialogue for GHS, and I, as a parent, would like the opportunity for continued dialogue efforts for parents. I would like to return to hopefully be a catalyst and a facilitator through the Parent Power Hour workshops or any other medium to give voices to parents, not just on issues of today, but just continued open communication with the district and parents. Communication is key. It's something I know that as an employee we're working on all the time, and then as a parent I'm looking out for all the time. When did this letter come home? What does it say? Did it come in other languages? Was it enough time? All those things. And sometimes I am looking for, as a parent, more than just a letter home. So as a parent, I want that need to be filled, and as an employee, I want to be able to fill that need for parents like myself. We expect our kids, we expect our kids to be able to have dialogue skills with opposing views and be able to do that in a respectful manner and carry out active listening. And I want that opportunity as a parent to do the same for just more than tonight coming for public comment, but yes. And I also want to say that as far as the Day of Kindness, it was great to see the amazing things that happened, not only today, but the things that happen throughout the district every day. Zoe, for example, her class has been working on a kindness book, and that was before today. Zaire's class, Ms. Witherell's 4th grade class, they did Be the Good bracelets way back in probably like October. So I just want to celebrate the fact that our district is always finding ways in teachers to express kindness, to promote that sense of community, and I just want to be a part of continuing that spirit. Thank you.
Thank you. Are there any other members of the public? Hi, welcome.
Hi, Doug Selwyn, 38 Forest Avenue. Had a couple of things to say. In response to the budget conversation and then passage last, only 2 days ago, no wonder you're all looking tired. I'm already hearing rumors that there may be cuts to the budget considered by the mayor and by town council, and I want to really support what was said that I heard from the superintendent and from Member Hollins about how important what the discretionary funds support are really what makes school meaningful. That when I talk to kids who have been through school, and I talked to a lot of them over the years teaching at college, what they remember are not the ordinary lessons. What mattered to them as they were sort of finding their way towards making meaning for themselves in the world are those things that are a little less hard-edged sometimes, but crucial. Relationships at the top, the relationships they have with teachers, with staff, with other students in the building, activities that help them to explore their creativity, their curiosity, learning how to ask questions and to pursue those questions that come through art, through sports, through field trips, through engagement with the community. I still don't know what a secant is. I mean, somebody taught it to me in math in 10th or 11th grade, or tried to. And I'm not downplaying the need to know those things, but what really matters is understanding how to learn, how to ask questions, how to pursue those questions. And much of that happens around the edges of the required curriculum. And when we cut that, when we cut library, when we cut the arts or other programs that support that kind of learning above and beyond, we are killing the joy and meaning of school for our students. They're left with going through a sort of conveyor belt kind of program that deposits them at the graduation point, or even worse, pushes them off the conveyor belt to drop out because they don't find anything that gives them either joy or meaning. So maintaining the budget seems to me crucial. Related to that, I'm wondering, with this wonderful auditorium that we have, why we don't have a full-time drama program. And that's related to this. I mean, we've got this wonderful facility. There's a drama club that's barely alive because it's barely funded. There are kids who, my wife who teaches drama or taught drama, would say it's the central curriculum that should be taught because it's where kids learn to listen to each other. It's where they learn to process material. It's where they learn to express themselves, where they dig deeply in those skills that they will need to move into a future they can't predict. So I would lobby for that. And related to that, we're supporting a drama program here that's happening late in the afternoons, and there are a lot of kids who would like to be part of that who can't because there's no transportation, there's no late bus or no late van. And so if there's any way to support having late afternoon transportation so that kids who maybe live a little farther away and would benefit from this can actually take part in one of these programs that actually gives meaning, I'd advocate for that. So thank you.
Thank you. Are there any other members of the public that would like to speak? Okay. Seeing none, we will move on to reports. Student representatives.
Good evening. Yes, it's on. So, 2 weeks ago, Greenfield High School held Read Across America, which is an event in our small lecture hall open for the entire community aimed for grades preschool to 4th grade, focusing on just reading to little kids Dr. Seuss books and creating that bond between elementary school students and high school students. We had a bigger turnout this year than last year. Myself and another girl named Kat have been running it for the past 3 years, and it's just gone up each year. And we see the kids come back excited, and seeing some familiar faces and having them recognize our name is always a good plus to it.
Moving on to this weekend, we have a fundraiser that is being done for the music department. It is Travis LeDoit, who is our modern-day Elvis, so to speak. He's an Elvis, I wouldn't say impersonator, that has a negative connotation to it, but he is going to be singing Elvis songs, and all the money, all the proceeds that are being raised from that are going to the music department, and they're going to benefit us in terms of paying for buses, for field trips, and paying for competitions and stuff like that. And it is this Saturday at 7 p.m., so if any of you feel so inclined, we'd love you to be there.
So as many of you probably know, the Greenfield High School students staged a walkout today at 10 o'clock, lasting until 10:17, in remembrance for the 17 people that were killed in the Florida shooting. I don't even know how long ago it was, which hit close to home for a lot of us because we had a friend who just recently moved down to Florida and was at a neighboring school, so it could have just as easily been her life in danger. There were signs, there was quiet talking about it. We brought up a lot of discussions in class. There was a big poster right behind you that I forget what it says, but we wrote on sticky notes about ways to improve our school community. And it was just an overall good experience. About 1/4 of the school walked out, which is a lot, speaking that I know attendance wasn't the highest today. Yeah, 200 kids?
Just about, it looked like it, yeah.
Well, about still 1/4 to 1/3 of our school, which I personally am proud of. I was out there holding a sign, just showing my respect to the students who have lost their lives, while also putting a slightly more political turn on it, but each person was able to walk and be out there for why they wanted, and that was just my personal opinion, to go out there and also try and be the start of at least a greater change. And as I heard said a lot, just wait until 8 years when we can vote. Oh, I'm also next. Last Wednesday to Friday, the Greenfield High School Student Council went to the state leadership convention at Hyannis at the Cape for 3 days, where we participated in workshops. We elected our state officers, because there's class president and stuff for like class and school, but there's also for the regional and state level. So we elected our state officer. Well, 7 out of the 11 state officers. The other 4 will be elected throughout the state within the upcoming 2 months. And it was a lot of people's first time going, and it was an experience of a lifetime for them. And I know the juniors who was their first time are really excited to go back next year, and are really just pleased to have been given the opportunity to leave school for something that will better themselves in the future and for their long run.
This Tuesday, I believe it's this Tuesday, the school is going to be taking the juniors to a reality fair at GCC. It's also known as a job fair, and it's an annual thing. And us being juniors, we're very excited to be going and experiencing that for our first time, probably our only time. Hopefully, yeah. And that's ought to be exciting. My sister, actually, this is a little bit of a tangent, but my sister went when she was a junior, and there was like a raffle or something, and she won like an iPad. It was kind of crazy, and that's not quite relevant to the actual reality fair, but
It's the reality of what happened.
yeah, and it's gonna be very fun, exciting, a bunch of like jobs and everything. We're gonna learn about ourselves, things we didn't even know. It should be great.
I heard last year someone was told they should be a tile placement person, which all the lovely jobs, such a wide variety. Spring sports start next Monday, and Greenfield has to use the word again, wide variety of sports. We have outdoor track, we have baseball, softball, tennis, probably another one I'm forgetting. And it's going to be nice to see if Greenfield can stay winning, because I also just found out through a technicality, the girls indoor track team tied for first place in the league. Oh, it's a three-way tie, and there's 5 teams in the league. I don't know how that happened, but we got a banner now for girls indoor track. So we're all pretty excited about that, and it was a well-deserved win. We would be solidly first, but there was a weird meet, and yeah, but it's really exciting. And also, Greenfield High School Drama Club 2 weeks ago held their play The Tempest, which I know I saw Mrs. Hollins there. Not sure if any of other you attended, but it was really nice. The second day someone got sick, and we had a teacher sub in and take 2 roles. But we were all cracking up on backstage. Like, it was really hard biting our tongues to try not and break character and laugh, because it was overall just a great show. During intermission, we'd always just go into the hallway and just start cracking up at all of the mistakes we made, which weren't really mistakes because we just improv through it and made Shakespeare our own.
So next on the agenda that we're going to talk about is the telethon, which is tomorrow evening. It came up like extremely fast. I didn't realize how soon it was going to be. But tomorrow night at 6:37.
6. It's 6 to 9.
Hey, thanks, Philippe. All right. So at 6, we have our telethon, and Don Alexander, right over there, you're getting interviewed. Is that right? I heard from Miss Katera and Miss Patnode even. Huh? You're just carrying instruments?
Surprise
Well,
interview
we're
pop
getting
quiz.
interviewed, yeah. So thanks for volunteering, not quite, for your interview that you didn't know was going to happen. You're getting interviewed. Isn't that exciting? So 6 p.m. tomorrow, you can see Don Alexander. You can see us. The jazz band will be there. And we encourage everyone to maybe make a pledge or just show your support by tuning in. Anything that you'd like to do.
Shout us out.
Shout us out, yeah. Say how great we are. No. But yeah, tomorrow at 6 p.m.
So this Friday during the 7th graders having the step-up day, which I always look forward to each year, because as an underclassman, I enjoy viewing not an underclassman, but not a senior, enjoy meeting the 7th graders and telling them about Greenfield High School, because I know that I will be a face they will see in the next year, participating in all of those clubs that they find out that they can join, and just telling them that it's not as bad as people think. Greenfield actually has a really tame and good school environment, nothing like TV shows portrayed when I was in middle school. Like, that was scary. This high school is not scary. We're a really safe place, and I'm excited to go and introduce the 7th graders and try and ease their anxieties on integrating into our high school. And also, 2 weeks ago, Greenfield held our local dress drive, where we give dresses away for free, of no cost. We collect them for a while, and then we put them out on display. We've got a couple moms waiting to tell girls how gorgeous they look in dresses, and they're in every hallway, so no matter where you get changed, you're going to be bombarded with love, even if you try and hide from it. They will hunt you down. It's pretty great. And just seeing, like, some of the guys are trying on dresses as well, because the dresses were just really good looking, and they wanted to see how it would fit on them, and it was just overall a really good experience. A lot of people went home with dresses and outfits for prom who otherwise couldn't afford it, and it's just one less dress on them, and they were all extremely thankful that Greenfield offered them such an opportunity.
Taste of World Cultures is being held, I believe it's next Thursday at the high school here. And it's been something that all the students constantly look forward to every year. It's a very fun event. Every year there's people bringing exotic foods from their nationality, ethnic background, yeah. And trying on great clothes from those as well. Every year we have our fun singing karaoke event too, where we pick a song and everyone gets up and everyone's just having a grand time singing it and enjoying it in a different language. It's next Thursday. Feel free to come to that as well.
And it's free, right?
Yeah, it's free to get in. There's no admission charge. Oh, actually, I have the next thing too. So we talked last time briefly about a politician thing where we're going with the town government. There are people shadowing members of the town government. We have one slot open, and as soon as we fill that, then we can get everything started. And that should be happening definitely within the next month. And you're doing it,
Yeah,
right?
we both are.
We are both doing it, so we're going to see you guys maybe. I don't know. And there's a lot of good kids doing it as well. And that's something to look forward to.
And it's also you.
Let's start. There's a the Moose Club. They held their annual project, statewide project competition in which they gave, it was called Kids Talks, and people gave talks to kids about a subject of their choosing, and they tried to give the best presentation, teach the kids the most that they possibly could. We elected winners. It was the students didn't create or run the event, but there are students who judged the event, and the winners were elected this Sunday. There are winners, but the real winners here are the kids who got the knowledge. But exciting news, our fellow spokesman right here, Dylan Badillo, he got second place in the whole statewide. So that's really great.
And technically, it's Massachusetts and Rhode Island. So I won a $500 scholarship and $200 spending money for a 4-day all-expenses paid trip to Boston for the international competition, where I'll be giving a presentation along with all of the other international finalists. And then I'll be up for more scholarships up to $25,000. My subject, I chose, well, I had a hard time deciding, so I just chose a big, broad umbrella topic, love, and did 4 different types of talks. One of which, the first one was our community service project at Greenfield, where we go and read to the schools. I titled that Share Love, where I just focused on growing, like learning the kids' names and just connecting them as people and just giving them a new friend in life. Then also there was Make and Take Valentine, which was spread love, in which high schoolers and elementary school students bonded together while giving Valentines to the community. There was another one called Nurture Love, where I went to the YMCA during the most February vacation and read a book called Happy in Our Skin to some students while we made bookmarks, and I just pressed the message that we're all different and unique in our own ways, and that's beautiful. And I started that out asking what they were talented at, and I did not stop until each kid gave me an answer, because we all have different talents, even if we don't know it. And the fourth one, which is personally my favorite, I went through the entire project with my 8-year-old sister, Liliana, who's in 3rd grade. So we made the poster together. I helped her plan things out. We took selfies along the way. Although she could not present the events, she helped me plan them and did all the behind-the-scenes works with me. She cut out a couple hundred bookmarks that took hours while we watched TV together, and it was a really nice bonding experience. I go at the end of next month to the international competition, hoping that Greenfield can stay winning.
Yeah, congratulations and best of luck.
What was the fourth one called? Share love, spread love, nurture love.
Teach love.
That's all we have tonight.
Unless you have any
Thank you.
questions.
Any questions or comments for our student reps? Okay. No questions or comments. Thank you so much. It's great to hear from you. Well, I can't top that report, I have to say, but it's really, I really appreciated that. I really needed that, a little dose of love. So first things first, everybody, in your packet, you'll see that there are copies of our attorney contracts. These are just here just as a formality for each of you to know that these will be in review at the subcommittee level. And I believe it's scheduled to come to the committee table either in May or June. So this is quite a bit of advance notice, but I wanted to make sure that everybody had these in their hands. So no vote or anything is necessary on those tonight. Those are just for your own information. And then I have a couple of things I want to check in about. I did reach out to Councilor Mayo, seeking a little more information about his proposal related to contracted services that the mayor referenced at our last meeting on Monday. So when I receive that information, I'll forward it to the group. As well, I did receive a couple of other inquiries for agenda items, including a desire to discuss special education, potentially review policies related to any student activism or protests, and an interest in a place for the committee to post resources. So I just want to make sure everyone knows that those came into me. There is, of course, on the agenda a little bit later, an opportunity to provide more agenda requests if you have some today. For Member Alexander is working on our stakeholder letter, and he asked for a little extra time, so that isn't here today for us, but we anticipate it coming to the April meeting. And Member Alexander, if you need any help or anything, just reach out to the group. We can help. And then let's see. Last but not least, Member Karen's going to report out on this a little bit. It's part of her report for health and safety. But I just wanted to mention that the Green River School building, as a topic of conversation, has been brought up at the health and safety meeting. And unless there is any opposition, my recommendation is that the Health and Safety and Facilities Subcommittee take up conversation, continue conversation about the Green River School building and what should be done with that building, and to report back to us on a sort of basic idea about how to proceed with ideas and moving forward with Green River School building. And that's all that I have at this time. So we can switch right over to Superintendent Report.
Good evening. So I just wanted to, I don't have a lot this evening, but I wanted to spend a moment just really sharing with the committee the tremendous things, some of which you've heard about this evening in public comment. And for the folks at home, today was a remarkable day in the Greenfield Public Schools, and unrelated to whether or not students chose to walk out today, what happened in classrooms across Greenfield was a tremendous sense of community, of caring and support. Those of you that have children, I really encourage you to have conversations about how they personally engaged in acts of making their community better. This was about coming together as a community. It was about safety, both physical safety and psychological safety. How do we make a safe and strong community? And it was about empowering students. And I would like to thank all the teachers that did a remarkable job of holding back their own personal and political views and embracing the different opinions of families that we serve. And in a democracy, we do need to be able to tolerate and embrace differences. I think our staff have modeled that beautifully, and they have made it safe for students to do the same. And I couldn't be more proud of the work that goes into this. Teachers care so much about their children that sometimes they want to do, and sometimes the hardest and most telling thing to do is to step back and to let students take the lead. And today, throughout our schools, students at whatever level was appropriate for them took the lead in small ways, like the kindness rocks that happened at so many schools, like the friendship songs and the friendship bracelets, and coloring and bulletin board at our preschools and elementary schools, and real acts of community service at our middle school. And I participated through the lunch hour with several community members and parents here in the high school in conversations about how to together make our school a safer and more welcoming environment. And I was really impressed at students' practical suggestions and thoughtful and mature responses. And so I'd like to conclude my remarks about today by saying that I was impressed tremendously with the maturity that our students showed today. And what was important was not whether a student walked out of the building or stayed in the building. What was important was that they came to a decision that perhaps they talked with their family, but they came to a decision that was their own decision. They were supported in whatever was their decision. And while they were in the building, in the time that matters most, they used that time to make their schools a better place. It made me tremendously proud to be here and part of the Greenfield Public Schools community. And students everywhere today were finding ways to make their voice heard and to make a difference. I can't think of a better reason to educate students than for them to know that they have a role in the broader society. And today was that day in Greenfield. And I'm really quite proud. Thank you.
Are there any questions for the superintendent? Okay. Seeing none, we will move on to subcommittee reports. Member Karen, do you want to start?
Sure. I briefly just want to echo what Jordana said. I was very proud today. I have 4 children in our district, and they all came home talking about the wonderful things they did as a community today. So it was really wonderful. Please take the time, chat with them, see a student, ask them a question. It was some really wonderful things happening today. Whether or not they walked out, they were safe, they were heard, and they felt wonderful about their experience. It was a really great day. Separately from that, we can talk about Health and Safety Subcommittee. We met this week, and we continued our conversation about parking and pickup and drop-off and we really chatted about that a lot. We got some really great ideas. We got a starting place, a jumping off point. We're going to start working on solutions and come up with some wonderful solutions as a subcommittee and perhaps bring them to the full committee, working with our local police departments and fire chiefs and all of that to keep students and families safe and work out all of the issues in that. It's a really great working there. Really what we need to, I would like to talk about tonight is getting a policy shifted that we need to be worked on into policy subcommittee. We need to work on a policy for pickups at schools when late pickups happen and keeping our children and students safe in those situations. So do we vote to move it that way, or do I just?
We can, unless there's, it's okay to refer it also unless there's any opposition. Does anyone have any opposition to that topic being moved to policy?
All right.
Seeing none, so
we will add that
there
to
we
the
go.
policy subcommittee.
Thank you, Member Karen.
And we did start chatting about the Green River project, and we have started a timeline going for that and what we need to do. I think we're always open to community input. If people feel the need to email, I've got an email, but we're ready to tackle that straight on. We have a timeline, we need to work on that, so.
Thank you. Any questions or comments to Member Karen? Okay. Member Alexander, would you like to report out on policy?
The policy subcommittee met on the 1st of March at the central offices, and the focus of our discussion was basically getting ourselves organized for the upcoming work. And as we just heard, there's more work coming in, being referred to other committees. So basically, committee member Karen, just bring your notes when you come to that meeting, and we'll work on that policy. In the next upcoming meeting, we're going to be taking a step back, and we're going to be revisiting the policies about how we develop policies, how we get policies pushed through subcommittees and then through the full committee. We did it about a year ago, and it still feels kind of like it doesn't match what we actually need the policy to be read. So we're going to be starting with that, and then we're going to be picking up policy work on the other recommendations from the other subcommittees. And that's all I have for policy for right now. Oh, I'm sorry, I do. Sorry, I looked at the wrong note. During our last meeting, excuse me, during our policy subcommittee meeting, we also discussed the policy about selecting a legislative designee to represent the Greenfield Public Schools. And right now I pulled the policy in front of me, and it's policy BJ, School Committee Legislative Program. And the focus of our discussion was around paragraph 3, where the committee may annually designate a person who may or may not be a member of the committee. And so our discussion took us in the direction of what if we were to make a call to the community to see if we can find someone with legislative experience or knowledge to work closely with us over the next year or so to speak what we need to our legislators outside of our school committee. Interesting topic that was also introduced to this meeting is we would like to also probably bring recommendations soon that we would like to extend that to high school students to be able to work with a legislative representative possibly, and so that give them one more avenue to get their voice out there as well. Right now we are still working on a possible description of duties for this position that will be coming back up into the next subcommittee meeting, and hopefully in the month of April my plan is to bring a official recommendation to the full committee at that time. So that is everything I have for that. You want me to just move right on into the personnel?
Let's take any questions or comments related to the policy update. Is there anything? Okay, seeing none, so then now, if you want to move on to personnel.
Okay.
Just be sure that any executive session is
No.
executive. Thank you.
Okay, the Personnel Subcommittee has not had an opportunity to meet yet since our last full committee meeting. We are scheduled next week for the 20th for personnel. But right now, next week, on the 22nd, we do have a posting out there for the Massachusetts Association of School Committees is going to be coming to Greenfield to the central office at 12 o'clock next Thursday to host a training session for members of the school committee in learning how to do the superintendent evaluation. Okay, so that is next Thursday on the 22nd, and that is all we really have for personnel right now.
Thank you. Any questions, comments? Okay, seeing none, we can move on. What you also have in your packet is the budget subcommittee minutes from the meeting on March 5th, 2018. We've had a lot of discussion about the FY19 budget. I'll leave this for you all to read. We did, of course, vote on our FY19 budget on Monday, so I think we're all pretty well informed about that activity. Unless, Mayor Martin, I know you're a member of that committee. I don't know if you want to make any comments about the minutes related to budget subcommittee. Okay, no comments there. And Member Ekstrom, was there a collaborative meeting to report out on, or no? Okay. All right. Well, I think that covers everyone at this stage, and we can move on officially to our agenda. You'll notice that we have a very light agenda this evening, and the main item is the Foundation Budget Review Commission information. This may seem a little odd that it's coming to the table and it's dated, one is dated 2015 and one is dated 2017, but the superintendent emailed me about it, and I felt that it was important to bring forward to the committee. As you see here, the Foundation Budget Review Commission was put together a few years ago in order to review the foundation budget process and make recommendations to our legislators about how we can actually better fund our schools. And they put forward several recommendations that are included in the report that is here for you. And my understanding is that those recommendations are just starting to be acted upon, but not in full. So there's still a need for us to have an active, strong voice to our legislators to ensure that we are getting adequate funding for our schools. So I brought this forward for the committee for your information, but also in hopes of potentially having a vote from the school committee. I do not believe that the school committee has voted in support of the recommendations put forward by the Foundation Budget Review Commission. So if folks are interested, I would entertain a motion to support the recommendations put forward by the Foundation Budget Review Commission.
So moved.
Okay, moved by Member Ekstrom. Is there a second? Second, Member Alexander. Is there any deliberation on this? Mayor Martin?
Yes, only that, have we received this before?
Not that I'm aware of. It may have come to the table in some way, in some information packet in the past. It has been an ongoing thing, as I noted, that this report here is dated 2015, then there was an update from 2017. It's been an ongoing process.
So I understand you want us to approve or recommend the Foundation Review Commission, and has anyone read it?
That's a great question. Did members have a chance to read their packets?
And do we have any additions or deletions or conversation, or is the premise to just accept this as written?
The motion on the table is to accept as written, but any additions or changes, or, we could also table it until our next meeting if you'd like to look for more information.
Well, I would prefer to wait. I don't know the urgency of passing this this
Sure,
evening.
there's no urgency.
Um,
It really just came off the, we're having so much discussion about our school budget, and it came out of that, an interest in expanding the conversation related to financing our schools. So there is no urgency. However, there is a motion on the table, so
Okay. There, can't seem to find it, but I believe we have on the 24th, re-envisioning sustainable rural schools. Representative Paul Mark is going to be at Greenfield Community College at 9 a.m. That would be a nice time to be discussing some issues that the legislature can solve regarding not only the foundation budget, but the current budget process by which the legislature goes through for funding, Chapter 7, 8. So there are parts of the budget that really make no sense if you've read it at all. And this is a condensed view, but there are other parts of this budget that is silent, which is also a problem. So, we've discussed chapter 71 for several months. And I had a meeting with the Division of Unfunded Mandates yesterday. They have agreed to take on our question. They're going to do it statewide. They hope to do it within 90 days. And Greenfield and some other cities in Massachusetts will be investigated, or not so much investigated, but in detail of the concerns regarding reimbursements and transportation and DCF, relocated students, the whole gamut of current law and where the legislature is not compliant. So I'd rather if we're going to make a recommendation, that we include, and I need some more time to think about this, but include what shouldn't be in there and what should. That would be my feeling. And I hope other members have other ideas rather than what's been given to them by other people.
thanks, Mayor Martin. And I do agree that there's a lot missing from the Foundation Budget Review Commission report and recommendation. I have attended a handful of trainings and kind of forums where there has been discussion on the recommendation from the Review Commission, and that essentially it's not enough, that it may help to soothe some of the stress that we feel, but it's not going to solve our problems entirely. So yes, I believe that there's more that could be included in our recommendation. Yes, Superintendent.
I'd like to thank the mayor for the advocacy related to unfunded mandates. The mayor has been tenacious in looking at ways in which schools are tasked with doing more, but there's no more state or federal aid to do those new tasks, and that's a burden that's passed down to cities and towns. And I really appreciate the advocacy on behalf of some of these things. There are too many of them, and we need champions that can sort of bring that forward and help educate people about the concerns. So I really appreciate that. And I do want to add to the rest of the committee that there was an update to this recently. So if this is an ongoing topic for discussion, I can try to send that out as well with some updated figures. And it really is a good starting place for a conversation. And it's helpful for people to understand that basically we have an outdated funding mechanism, and the way that our base aid to cities and towns is determined is just outdated. It's not equitable, and it's inadequate for our public schools. And that's really what this report is trying to get at, which is what's a better formula to determine, because the formula right now leaves everyone scratching their heads and saying, how is that number adequate for state aid to do what we need to do for children? And that needs to be solved.
So we still do have a motion on the table. Do we want to vote on this motion? Did you want to withdraw your motion? Is there? We could withdraw the motion and put it on next month's agenda.
Excuse me, I withdraw the motion.
Okay.
Move it to next month.
All right, thank you, Member Ekstrom. We will move this to next month's agenda with some update from the superintendent. So, moving on to our next item, it's another opportunity for folks to weigh in about agenda requests. Are there new agenda requests since Monday? Okay, seeing none. Oh, yes. Secretary Alexander.
No, I was just curious, the other night we were all throwing things at you, kind of like tennis ball or pickleball, but do you have a list of everything that we were throwing out just so we can keep accountability of the topics?
Yeah, I have a running list. I don't have it with me right now today to send out to you, but I will compile it into something neat and legible and share it with the group. Thank you for asking. Okay then, so any new business? Okay. Seeing none, we will now enter into executive session, and for folks out in the audience, we will return only to adjourn. We will be entering into executive session for MGL C30A 21-2 to conduct strategy sessions in preparation for negotiations with non-union personnel. Can we have a roll call, please? Or a motion first, and then a roll call. Is there a motion to enter into executive session?
So moved.
Is there a second? Thank you. And a roll call.
Committee Member Karen?
Yes.
Committee Member Ekstrom?
Yes.
Mayor Martin?
Yes.
I vote yes. Committee Member Nunez?
Yes,
We are in executive session.
thank you.
All of our productions at GCTV are sponsored in part by Bay State Health, providing the care you and your family need when you need it close to home. Visit them online at baystatehealth.org. Greenfield Savings Bank. Visit them at 400 Main Street in Greenfield. Call them at 774-3191 or go online to greenfieldsavings.com. Greenfield Community College, providing access and excellence in higher education in the Pioneer Valley. Visit them at gcc.mass.edu. The Hammond Family. The Hammond family are longtime supporters of Greenfield Community Television. New Fortune Chinese Restaurant on the Mohawk Trail in Greenfield. Visit them online at newfortunema.com. Call them at 772-0838 and check them out on Facebook. Real Cleaning Services, cleaning Hampshire and Franklin County since 1972. We don't cut corners, we clean them. Check them out online at realclean.com. Call them at 413-422-1143. People's United Bank, located at 45 Federal Street in Greenfield. You can call them at 774-3713 or visit them online at peoples.com. The Solar Store of Greenfield, replacing fossil fuels and nuclear power one home at a time. Visit them at 23 Fisk Ave. Call them at 413-772-3122 or visit them online at solarstoreofgreenfield.com. Thank you to our sponsors for supporting all of GCTV's productions.